What's up and welcome back to the channel. Today is the July 25th, 2022 Helium Miner Update. If you've been following along, we've got 4 helium miners. We've got 1 in Kailua Kona, Hawaii, and 2 in Portland, Oregon, and 1 now in Alpine, Wyoming. And I wanted to give you an update what those miners have been doing this past week as far as helium token earnings and dollars earned as well as to date. I'm also planning to address a few of the comments that we've received in some of the previous videos regarding mining for helium in some of the different locations, since the locations that we do have are relatively unique. 2 of them, they're in a city, one of them on an island in the Pacific, and the other one in a rural community in Wyoming. So we'll go over that here in a little bit. So with that said, let's get right into it. Our miner in Kailua Kona, that one is in a hexagon with 3 other miners. That one earned 0.86 helium tokens this past week. Our Portland 1 location, that is in a hexagon with 5 other miners, earned 0.06 helium tokens. And finally, our miner that is in a hexagon by itself up on a hill had earned 0.51 helium tokens. Also happy to report that the helium miner in our Alpine, Wyoming location earned 0.27 helium tokens this past week. And also just realized that's not a full week as far as it being operational. So with that said, our 7-day earnings on the helium tokens is 1.7 helium tokens. 30-day earnings, 8.37 helium tokens, and finally our year-to-date helium tokens are 20.10. At the time of this recording, helium was trading at $9.21 per helium token, and so our 7-day earnings are $15.66 for all 4 miners. Our 30-day earnings are $53.33. And then our grand total for our year-to-date earnings for 2022 are $182.63. So I did want to address a few of the comments that we'd received on the previous videos regarding mining in different locations for helium tokens with these MNTD miners. And certainly it's a learning experience for us, but one of the things that we are finding is that in the rural locations, there's a higher helium token being earned, at least per week right now. We have noticed as far as the hotspots that have been received by our miner in Alpine, Wyoming specifically, I believe there's only 3 or 4 other helium mining operations. So the number of spots that are witnessed as far as this past week, our miners actually only witnessed 1, but the earnings have been relatively decent there at the 0.27 helium tokens for that 7-day period. I will say that that Portland location where we've got the 5 other miners located, that one is certainly the one that's performing. It's the least optimal, while the one that is by itself is doing the best. But what's also interesting is that the helium miner in Kailua Kona does have other miners in that hexagon, so not quite sure why that exactly is happening that way, since there are other miners in the hexagon, but my presumption is that that's also relatively remote location since we're on an island there. So anyway, that's the update based on some of those questions. Certainly feel free, if you've got other questions, to leave those down below. Just want to give you, as part of these updates, our experience with helium mining, especially since we do have 4 separate locations that are all pretty different. So feel free to leave comments down below with your experience or if you have any questions. Thanks, and hopefully you have a good week.